Cortez, you're today's physics teacher. So, what do you know about physics? Physics is the fundamental science that seeks to understand the universe at its most basic level. It explores the nature of matter, energy, space, and time, and how they interact to create the world around us. At its core, physics is about observation, experimentation, and the development of theories to explain the observed phenomena. These theories are expressed in the form of mathematical equations, which allows us to make precise predictions about how the universe will behave. So for today's agenda, we will talk about the 7 topics for the first quarter in physics, which are the scientific notation, conversion of units, variance, parallelogram method, polygon method, triangle method, and decomponent method. Starting with scientific notation. Scientific notation is a way of expressing very large and very small numbers. It consists of a number that is greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10 multiplied by a power of 10. It is easier to compare numbers when they are written in scientific notation, which the number above have been written in scientific notation. A large number is represented by a positive power. A small number is represented by negative power. So, let's break it down with an example, which is in this slide standard to scientific notation, which expresses a large number to very small numbers, which is like the 5,020,000 converted into scientific notation, which is in shorter form became 5.02 times 10 raised to positive 6. So the decimal is right to left, which is positive, and the bottom of the first example, which is the 0.000657, had been converted into scientific notation, which is negative, which the decimal moves right to left. Let's move on to the next 2 examples, which is scientific notation to standard form. As you can see, the scientific notation is more shorter than the standard form, which the 5.36, the decimal only moves in right to left, which turns into 53,600. And in the bottom, you can see the 1.06 times 10, which is raised to negative 1, which the decimal moved to the left. Conversion of units. Conversion of units. It is the simplest way to convert one to another is to form a conversion ratio equal to 1 with the desired unit, the numerator and the unit to be converted at the denominator. The original quantity is multiplied by conversion ratio. Units may be multiplied or divided just like any ordinary algebraic factors. The metric system is based on a decimal. To change one metric unit to another is to shift the decimal point. Example number 1. Convert 9 inches to centimeter, given that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter. As you can see in the solution in this slide, 9 inches times 2.54 centimeter over 1 inch, which the inch had been cancelled because we are finding the centimeter, not the inches. So, 9 times 2.54 divided by 1 is equal to 22.86 centimeter, which is 9 inches is equivalent to 22.86 centimeter. For the next example, convert 60 kilometers to meters, given that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters, expressing your answer in scientific notation. As you can see, the solutions in this slide, kilometer again cancelled because we are looking for meter. So 60 times 1,000 divided by 1 or over 1 is equal to 60,000 meters, which the scientific notation of 60,000 meters moved by 4 decimal points. So the scientific notation will be 6.0 times 10 raised to positive 4 meters, which the 60 kilometer is equivalent to 60,000 meters. For the third example of conversion units, convert 30 grams to kilograms, given that 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, by expressing your answer in scientific notation. Again, grams is cancelled because we are looking for kilogram. So, 30 times 1 kilogram divided by 1,000. So, the answer would be 0.03 kilogram. The move of the decimal is from left to right, so the exponent of the scientific notation will be negative 2. So, the scientific notation will be 3.0 times 10 minus 2 kilogram, which the 30 grams is equivalent to 0.03 kilograms. So, let's move on to solving mean and variance. Example number 1. A group of 5 students was shocked to see their grade point average in P6 due to their high expectations. Their GPAs were as follows: 3.2, 2.8, 2, 1.5, 2.5. Calculate the mean and variance of the given problem. So, you can see the solutions in this slide, which we will take first the mean, which the givens had been summed up to 12, divided by 5, which is the total of given, which the mean will be 2.4. So, to get the variance, you must subtract the givens and the mean. It's like the 3.2 minus 2.4 is equal to 0.8, which the 0.8 will be squared. The squared row will sum up, which it takes 1.78. So, to get the variance, the 1.78 will be divided into the total given. So, which is 5. 1.78 divided by 5, it will be answered 0.356. So, to get the standard deviation, you must square the variance, which is 0.356, which the standard deviation will be 0.59. So, if it is rounded, it will be 0.60. Example number 2. The grade 7 students has a total of 5 classrooms, which every classroom has been 36, 38, 41, 43, and 49 students. Calculate the mean and variance of the given problem. As you can see in example 2, just like example 1, it has 5 givens. It sum up, and in example 2, we gathered 207. So, it will be divided into 5, which the mean will be 41.4. And also, in getting the variance, it's the same with the example 1. So, 36 minus 41.4, it will take negative 5.4, which will be squared. In the squared row, it answered 101.2. So, 101.2 divided by 5 will be the variance, which is 20.24. Which, to take the standard deviation, you must square root the variance. So, standard deviation will be 4.49, which if it will be rounded, it will be 4.50. So, let's move on to the last example of solving mean and variance. A small bakery in the Philippines sells 5 types of bread daily. Below are the number of breads sold each day for a week. Pandesal, 15 breads. Ensaymada, 20 breads. Spanish bread, 12 breads, Monai, 18 breads, and cheese stick, 10 bread. I mean cheese bread. Find the variance of the number of breads sold, given that 15 plus 20 plus 12 plus 18 plus 10, which will be concluded 75, divided by the total of given, which is 5, it will fall into 15 sales, which is the 15 will be the mean. So in taking the variance again, 15 minus 15, like the first example, 0. So let's take the next, 20 minus 15 is equal to 5. Squared 5 will be 25, which the square root will be sum up, which it takes 68 sales. So the variance will be 13.6, which the standard deviation will square root the variance to order for you to find standard deviation, which in this example you will see that 3.68 is the standard deviation, which if it can be rounded it will be 3.69 sales. Next up is parallelogram method. The parallelogram method is the steps in determining the resultant of vectors using the parallelogram method are outlined below. Two sectors A and B are used for this analysis. Example number 1. Two forces are acting on a car at a point. One force is 14 Newton, directed west, and the other force is 60 N, directed to south. Find the resultant force using the parallelogram method, which is 10 Newton is equivalent to 1 centimeter. As you can see at the right top side of this slide, you can see the graphing, which is the blue arrow represents the force E and the force B represents the green arrow. As force B, which is the 60 Newton, which equivalent to 6 centimeter. So you can see that the intersection of the two force, you will come with the resultant force, which is 7.2 centimeter, which in Newton you can take it as 72, which 56 degrees southwest. In example 2, two forces act on an object at a point. One force is 50 Newton, directed to the east, and the other force is 30 Newton, directed to the north. Find the resultant force acting on the object using the parallelogram method. 10 Newton is equal to 1 centimeter. So, as you can see in this graph, the force A, which is the blue arrow, which represent the 50 Newton, which in centimeter, it represented as 1.5 Newton. So, the blue arrow directed to east and the green arrow directed to north, which is 3 centimeter when you convert it in centimeter. So, when the two forces interact, you can come up with the resultant force, which is 33 Newton, which in centimeter you can come up with 3.3 centimeter with 63 degrees northeast. In example 3, two forces act on a boat at a point. One force is 50 Newton, directed to northeast at a 45-degree angle, and another force is 30 Newton, directed directly to east. Find the resultant force acting on the boat using parallelogram method. The scale is 10 Newton is equal to 1 centimeter, which in the graph, you can see that the given force, which in force A, 50 Newton northeast 45 degrees. You can see that the red arrow, which is the force A and the force B directed to east, will interact with each other and come up with the resultant force 74 Newton, which in centimeter 7.4 centimeter, 28 degrees northeast. Let's move on to polygon method. The polygon method is otherwise known as the tip-to-tail method. This method is more convenient than the parallelogram method when more than two vectors are to be added graphically. The polygon method is a graphical technique, so the accuracy of the resultant depends on the precision of the drawing and the scale used. Let's take the first example for polygon method. You are out for an early morning jogging with your friends. You walk 3 meter south and 5 meter east. Then you decided to walk farther and go 2.0 meter southwest and 4 meter west. How far are you now from your starting point and in what direction? Graph it in polygon method and determine the radius. So, as you can see, it started on 3 meters south, which the given represented. So, 2, the head of the 3.0 meter south. Next is 5.0 meter east. Then to be followed by 2.0 southwest to 4.0 west. Then you will come up the tail of the 3 meter south and 4 meter west in this graph. So the radius will be 4.4 meters, 84 degrees southwest. Next example. You are craving a yummy and matcha flavored milk tea, so you decided to walk because your motor ran out of gas. You walk 6 meters north and 5 meters east, then you decided to walk farther and go 2 meters south and 4 meters east. How far are you now from your starting point and in what direction? Graph it in polygon method and determine the radius, which in this graph you can see that it started on 6 meter north and to be followed by 5 meter east in the graph and 2 meters south and 4 meter east. So the tail of the 6 meter north and the head of a 4 meter east is calculated, which is the radius, which the radius is 9.8 meters in 24 degrees north of east. In example number 3, you are at a party and it's your turn to take down the piñata, and you are blindfolded and you calculated that they place you in another side. So you walk vertically 4 meter north and 3 meter east. Then you decided to walk farther and go 2 meter south and 1 meter east. How far are you now from your starting point and in what direction? Graph it in polygon method and determine the radius. In the example 3, in this graph, you can see that the 4 meter north is represented as the first to be to be measured. So the red is 4 meter north to be followed by the green arrow, which is the 3 meters east, and to be followed by 2.0 meters south and 1.0 east in purple. So the tail of the 4 meter north and the head of the 1 meter east is calculated, which the calculation is 4.4 meters in 26 degrees north of east, which is the radius. Triangle method. Using the laws of sines and cosines. The method of adding vectors is called the analytical method. Law of sines and cosines will be applied in this method. In the analytical method, the magnitude and direction of the resultant vector will be determined by computation instead of the computation of drawings and measurements, which This is the formula for law of sine and cosine. The law of cosine, which is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine or theta or the c. This formula is for magnitudes only in determining the magnitude. And for direction, you can use the law of sine. Let's take the first example for triangle method. You have a triangle ABC where side A with 8 units opposite to angle A, side B which is 6 units opposite to angle B, and angle C which has 60 degrees. Determine the magnitude and its direction or angle using the laws of sines and cosines. So, in determining the magnitude, we must use the law of cosine. So, c squared is equal to a plus b squared minus 2ab cos c, which the a is equivalent to 8 and b is equivalent to 6, and our degree is 60. So, 64 plus 36 minus 2 times 8 times 6 times 0.5. 60 is equivalent to 0.5. So, is equal to 64 plus 36 minus 48. So, in order for the square of c to be cancelled, we must square it both sides. So, c squared cancelled 2, but the 52 will be squared, which the magnitude will be c is equal to 7.21 units. And for calculating the angle, we must use the formula for sine. So b over sin b is equal to c over sin c, which the b is equal to 6 over sin b is equal to c, which is the c is equivalent to the magnitude. So it is 7.21. So over, or I mean under sin 60 degrees. The sin c is equivalent to 60 degrees. So we must use the butterfly method. So 6 sin 60 degrees over 7.21 is equal to cancelled 7.21 both under and over. So the sin theta will remain. So 6 sin 60 degrees Celsius divided by 7.21, which equivalent to 0.720 is equal to sin theta. Then, after that, we must transpose the sin negative 1. So, sin negative 1, 0.720, which will be the answer is 46.05, which if we round it, it will be what 46.1. So for the angle A, which 180 degrees minus 60 degrees minus 46.1, which is the angle, we will come with the final angle, or answer of the final angle will be 73.9. So the final answer for the angle is 73.9 and the magnitude will be 7.21 units. Now, for example 2, three forces are acting on a point creating a triangular system. These forces are force A, which is 200 newtons acting at an angle of 60 degrees. And for the force B, 150 newton acting on an angle of 80. Find the resultant force C, the angle between C and A, and the angle between C and B. So, we must use the cosine formula, which is C squared is equal to 200 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 times 200 times 150 cos 80 degrees, which we, when we calculate all of that, we will come with 52,084. So, we must square both sides to cancel out the 2 of the c. So, the square root of 52.084 will be 228.2 Newton. And for the angle, 150 over sin theta is equal to 228.2 sin 80. So, 150 sin 80 divided by 2.28 is equal to 0.6472 is equal to sin theta, which the sin theta will be transposed. It will become sin negative 1, 0.6472. It will be 40.4 newtons. So, the final angle will be 180 degrees minus 40.4 minus 80 is equal to 59.6 degrees. Now for example 3. Two forces are acting on a point and we want to find the resultant force and one of the angles, which the force A is 100 newtons acting to the right and the force B acting 80 newton acting on an angle of 60 degrees. So, to determine the magnitude, we must use the cosine formula, which c squared is equal to 100 squared plus 80 squared minus 2 times 100 times 80 cos 60 degrees. To calculate that all, we will come up with 4,400, and to cancel out the squared in c, we must square root the both sides to cancel the 2 or the squared. So this c and d is equal to the square of 4,400 will be c is equal to 66.33 newton. And in angle 80 under sin theta is equal to 63.33 n under sin 60 degrees. So we will use the butterfly method. So 80 sin 60 degrees under 66.33. So, and in the side 66.33 sin theta under 66.33. The 66.33 must be cancelled because they are both 66.33. So 80 sin 60 degrees divided by 66.33, we will come up with 1.045, so is equal to sin theta, and we will transpose the sin theta, it will become sin negative 1, and 1.045 is equal to theta. Sin negative 1, since the sin can bigger than 1, this tells us the angle is close to 90 degrees. So, we will go for 90 degrees for the angle. Component vector. Component vector. The component method is generally used when more than two vectors are to be added. The steps involved in adding vectors using the component method, but first, you need to resolve the given factors or vectors into its horizontal vertical components. Get the algebraic sum of all the horizontal components or the mean, then get the algebraic sum of all these sums represents the horizontal component and the vertical component of the resultant respectively. So, in getting the component vector, you must first use the formula for solving the resolution vector by given vectors into its horizontal and vertical components, which the Vx cos for is equal to V cos for horizontal, and for vertical, Vy is equal to V sin theta. And for the formula for solving the magnitude of the resultant vector, the sum of the v cos and the v sin will be on the which mostly known as edx and edy will be squared and square root to get the radius. So for the formula to use to solve for the angle that the resultant makes with the horizontal is theta is equal to tan -1 edy ed over edx with absolute value. Example number 1. Taylor jogs in the morning for 5.045 degrees north of east. 3 meter is 4 meters south and 6 meters south before stopping for water break. Find the resultant displacement from where she started. Given 5.0 meter, 3.0 meter, 4.0 meter, and 6.0 meter. For the horizontal vcos or vcos is the first x will be 5.0 cos by the 45 is equal to 3.54 meter. And for the y first given as 5.0 sin for 45 degrees will be 3.54 meter. And for the x2 is equal to 3.0 meter because is only part of the horizontal, not the vertical. So the y2 will be 0. The same as the x3 and x4. So for the y3, negative 4.0 because it's located for the south, the same as for the y4. So negative 6.00 meter. For the sum of the answers for x1 to x4 is equal to 6.54 or for the edy or the sum of v sin will be edy is equal to negative 6.46. And for the radius, we will square the both 6.54 and negative 6.46. So we will come up 42.78 and 41.75 and sum them up to get 84.54 and square them to get the 9.19 meter. And for the angle, tan -1 negative 6.46 under 6.54. So the theta is equal to tan -1 negative 6 divided by 654, which will be negative 0.99, which has a absolute value which and turns the absolute value turns any negative or positive will turn into positive. So tan -1 0.99, which you will come for the angle 44.71. Example number 2. Rosmar spends her life traveling around the world as a traveler. One morning, she is planning to travel these directions in 5 days. In 6 kilometer, 25 degrees north of east, 4 kilometer east, 3 kilometers south, and 2 kilometer south. Find the resultant displacement from where she started. Given that 8 kilometer 25 degrees north of east, 4 kilometer east, 3 kilometers south, 2 kilometers south. So the horizontal or the x-axis formula is Vx is equal to cos theta. So for the first x will be 8 kilometer cos 25 degrees, which the answer would be to 7.25 meter. And for the vertical axis or the y-axis, which Vy is equal to sin theta, will be the y1 will be 8 kilometers sin 25 degrees, which the answer would be 3.38 kilometer. And for the x2, 4 kilometer only because on the given 4 kilometer is because the is horizontal, and it does not mention that is any vertical directions. It only mentioned is, just like y x3 x4, and for the y3 negative 3 kilometer because it only says south, and because south is negative part, so it will be negative, the same as the y4 negative 2.0 kilometer. And for the mean for EDX will be 11.25 kilometer, and for the y-axis will be negative 1.62 kilometer. To determine the radius, you must square the sum of both x and y. So 11.25 squared plus negative 1.62 squared is equal to 126.56 plus 2.62. So you will square root it, so 129.18 squared. So the answer will be 11.37 kilometer. So the radius will be 11.37 kilometer. And for the direction, theta is equal to tan negative 1 with the absolute value of negative 1.62 under 11.25. Then negative 1.62 divided by 11.25 would be 0.144. So it has a absolute value, so it will become a positive. So tan negative 1 will be 8.20 degrees. So the direction or the angle would be 8.20. For the example 3, a baby started to learn walking. Then he walked in 2.0 meter 25 degrees north of west, 4.0 meter 45 degrees southeast, 3 meter west, and 2 meter 45 degrees north of east. Find the resultant displacement from where the baby started walking. So, the givens are 2.0 meters at an angle 25 degrees north of west, 2 4.0 meters 45 degrees southeast, and for the 3 meters west, and 4 2 meters 45 degrees north of east. So for the horizontal axis or the x-axis will be, for the first x will be 20 meter cos 25 degrees, which the answer will be negative 1.8 meter. For the vertical y, first given will be y1, so it is 20 meters sin 25 degrees is equal to 0.85 kilometer. And for the second, 4.0 meter cos 45 degrees, which will be 2.83 meter. And for the y2, 4.0 meter sin 45 degrees, which will be negative 2.83 because it is south. And for the x3, negative 3.0 meter because it only says west. For the x4, 2.0 meter cos 45 degrees, which will be the answer is 1.45 meter positive. The same as the y4, 2.0 meter but sin 45 degrees, which will have the same answer 1.41 meter because it belongs in north and east, so they are the same positive. For the sum of the x-axis, answers will be negative 0.57 meters, and for the y-axis is negative 0.57 meters as well. And for getting the sum or the radius of the both 11.25 kilometer and negative 1.62. And in getting the radius, which will come up negative 0.57 squared plus negative 0.57 squared, which we will come up with the same answer. So 0.325 plus 0.325, which is turns into 0.65. And if you square the 0.65, we will come for the radius, which 0.81 meter. And for the angle, tan negative 1, the absolute value of negative 0.57 and over, under 0.57 negative, which we will come 1 with absolute value which turns into positive as well. So tan negative 1 is equal to 45. So the angle would be 45 degrees and for the radius 0.81 meter.